Jussie Smollett, fame, lies, trial, and the scandal that shocked America. There are scandals, and then there are stories so shocking, so confusing, and so culturally explosive that they stop the entire country in its tracks. The story of Jussie Smollett is one of those moments. At first, it seemed like a horrifying hate crime. Then it became a criminal investigation. Then a national debate. Then a courtroom drama. And eventually, one of the most polarizing celebrity cases in modern history. But the story isn't just about one night in Chicago. It's about fame, identity, public trust, media power, and what happens when a narrative collapses in real time. Because when the truth began to unravel, it didn't just damage a career. It shook public confidence itself. Before the scandal, Jussie Smollett was not a fringe celebrity. He was rising, quickly. Many viewers knew him as Jamal Leon on the hit television drama Empire. The show was a cultural force, bold, dramatic, and hugely popular. Jamal was groundbreaking representation, a successful Black, openly gay artist navigating family, fame, and personal struggle. Audiences connected with him. Critics praised him. And Jussie wasn't just acting, he was singing, performing, building a legitimate entertainment presence. For many, he symbolized progress in Hollywood. A talented performer whose star seemed destined to climb. Which is precisely why what happened next felt so unbelievable. In the early hours of a freezing January morning in Chicago, Jussie told police he had been attacked. He said 2 men approached him. He described racial and homophobic slurs. He reported being beaten. He said a rope had been placed around his neck. He claimed the attackers referenced a political slogan. The allegations were horrifying. Within hours, the story dominated headlines. Politicians spoke out. Celebrities posted messages of support. The public reacted with outrage and sympathy. Because if true, this was not just assault. It was symbolic violence. And people were shaken. But almost immediately, investigators began searching for evidence. Chicago police reviewed surveillance footage, interviewed witnesses, tracked movements. Initially, authorities treated Smollett as a victim. But as days passed, something felt off. The timeline raised questions. Video failed to clearly show the attack. Weather conditions made the story harder to reconstruct. Then came a pivotal break. Police identified 2 persons of interest captured on surveillance footage. Soon, they were located, questioned, and what followed would flip the entire narrative upside down. The men were brothers. They knew Jussie, had worked with him, had even trained with him physically. Instead of confirming the attack, investigators began suspecting the unimaginable, that the incident had been staged. When news of that possibility leaked, the reaction was immediate. Confusion, skepticism, disbelief. Why would someone orchestrate something so serious? What could possibly be gained? Attention, sympathy, career leverage. No one knew yet. But the tone of the story began shifting, fast. Police alleged that Smollett had arranged the attack himself, that he had paid the men, that the rope and other elements were planned. Authorities suggested motives tied to publicity and salary negotiations. The country watched in shock, because this wasn't a minor exaggeration. If true, it was a fabrication capable of inflaming national tensions. And suddenly, the conversation changed from compassion to betrayal. Support fractured. Some stood firmly by him, urging caution. Others felt manipulated. Public trust, once freely given, began eroding. Social media exploded with debate. Was he innocent? Was this a rush to judgment? Or was it one of the most audacious hoaxes in celebrity history? Meanwhile, Chicago officials made it clear. Investigating false reports consumes enormous resources: time, money, personnel. And those resources matter in a city confronting real violence. The stakes weren't just personal anymore. They were civic. Then came the charges. Smollett was arrested for allegedly filing a false police report. The images of a once celebrated actor facing criminal accusations stunned fans. Yet the legal journey would prove anything but straightforward. In a twist that confused nearly everyone, initial charges were dropped. The decision sparked outrage. Critics demanded transparency. Why drop a case that attracted global attention? Officials later cited procedural factors, but the damage to public confidence had already begun. For many observers, the story had turned into something larger than one actor. It became a referendum on accountability. But the story wasn't over. Not even close. A special prosecutor was appointed. The case was revived. And once again, Jussie Smollett found himself at the center of a legal storm. When the trial began, it captivated the nation. Witness testimony, detailed timelines, financial records, text messages. The prosecution painted a clear picture of premeditation. The defense argued the narrative was flawed. Courtrooms often deal in nuance, but public opinion rarely does. People chose sides and watched closely. After intense proceedings, Smollett was found guilty on multiple counts related to filing false reports. The verdict reverberated across media platforms. Some saw justice, others saw tragedy. Because beneath the legal outcome lay a deeper emotional question. How does someone go from celebrated artist to cautionary tale? Fame is a strange environment. It magnifies everything. Praise becomes intoxicating. Criticism becomes deafening. And perception can start to feel like reality. Psychologists often note that public figures live inside a pressure chamber. Constant scrutiny, constant expectation, constant performance. For some, that pressure builds resilience. For others, it fractures identity. We may never fully understand what drove the decisions at the center of this case, but we can examine the ecosystem that surrounds celebrity, an ecosystem where attention is currency, where visibility equals opportunity, where fading relevance can feel terrifying. Another layer made this case uniquely volatile: the cultural moment. The allegations touched on race, sexual orientation, politics, violence, topics already deeply sensitive. So when the story unraveled, it didn't just disappoint people. It polarized them. Some worried false reports could undermine real victims. Others worried the backlash might discourage people from coming forward. Both fears were real. And both fueled a national conversation about truth and responsibility. Media coverage also came under scrutiny. In the race to report breaking news, early narratives often solidify before facts fully emerge. Once the public emotionally invests in a story, reversals feel jarring. This case became a powerful reminder: speed is not the same as accuracy. And headlines can shape perception long before a courtroom does. For Jussie Smollett personally, the consequences were immediate. His role on Empire diminished. Industry relationships cooled. Public image shifted dramatically. Hollywood, while forgiving at times, is also risk-averse. Studios avoid controversy that threatens profitability. And reputational damage can travel faster than any legal appeal. Careers rarely collapse overnight, but they can change direction permanently. Yet history shows that public memory is complex. Some figures rebuild, others retreat. Some attempt quiet reinvention, others confront their past head-on. Where Jussie ultimately lands remains part of an unfolding story. Because redemption arcs are never guaranteed, but they are never impossible either. The broader lesson may not be about one individual at all, It may be about trust. Society runs on a fragile agreement that truth matters. When that agreement is shaken, the ripple effects extend far beyond headlines. People begin questioning everything: institutions, media, public figures, even each other. And rebuilding trust is far harder than breaking it. There's also a human instinct at play, our fascination with rise and fall stories. We elevate people quickly, celebrate them loudly, then watch, transfixed, when things go wrong. It's not new. From ancient history to modern Hollywood, audiences have always been drawn to dramatic reversals. Perhaps because they remind us how thin the line is between success and collapse. But amid analysis, it's important to remember something simple. Behind every scandal is a human being. Flawed, complicated, capable of terrible judgment, and sometimes growth. Public accountability matters, but so does recognizing humanity. Two truths can exist at once. A person can be responsible for their actions and still be more than their worst mistake. Today, the Smollett case is often referenced in discussions about media literacy, criminal justice, and celebrity culture. It has become shorthand for a cautionary tale, not just about deception, but about the consequences of narrative manipulation. Because stories carry power, and with power comes responsibility. So what ultimately defines Jussie Smollett? Is it the early promise, the groundbreaking role, the scandal, the verdict, or the chapters still unwritten? History rarely freezes people in a single moment. Instead, it watches what they do next. Silence, reinvention, accountability, transformation. Time will decide which direction this story moves. But perhaps the most enduring takeaway is this: fame amplifies choices, both wise and reckless. And once amplified, they echo for years, sometimes decades. The Smollett case reminds us that credibility is among the most valuable currencies anyone can possess. Lose it, and the cost is immeasurable. Yet, if there is one constant in human history, it is the possibility of change. Whether that change comes through reflection, humility, or simply the passage of time, we rarely stop evolving. Even after the world stops cheering, even after it starts judging. The question is never whether a fall defines you. The question is what you build afterward. If this story teaches us anything, it's that truth is not optional. Integrity is not negotiable. And the spotlight, while seductive, can reveal far more than anyone intends. Because once the lights are on, everything becomes visible. If you found this deep dive compelling, subscribe for more long-form explorations into the stories behind the headlines, the rises, the falls, and the complicated human realities in between. Because every public scandal hides a deeper narrative, and those stories are always worth examining.